What's going on, everybody? I'm Scott Oots, and today we're going to talk about how to find motivated sellers. All right, motivated sellers are all around you. You just don't realize it, right? There's so many different ways that you can go and market to get people to call into your company. There's so many different things you can do to go out and find people that are motivated. But how do you get in touch with those people? How do you actually find out, does this person actually want to sell their house? How do you get the right calls coming into your business? So this is actually really simple. And I think this is one of the scariest things to a lot of people getting started because they don't know what they're doing, right? You're new, you haven't done the process yet. But ultimately your goal is to get your phone to ring. That's what you need to see happen. And I know a lot of people that go out and door knock hundreds of doors a week. They're just out there knock, knock. Hey, you want to sell your house? Building rapport with the people, and they're getting a ton of leads from that. You're getting motivated seller leads from that stuff. But on the other hand, you can go out, drive for dollars. So you can use the drive for dollars systems to go and do that. We use Deal Machine for ours. So you can go out there, drive around neighborhoods, find houses that look like they need work. You're looking at cars on blocks and driveways. You're looking at tarps on the roof.
Is that actually a house? Looks like it's just someone's just living on the lot.
Nah, homie, wait, mate. Everybody know that. Goddamn.
You're looking at grass that is so overgrown, you're like, no one could possibly live within that house. Boarded up windows, eviction notices on the doors. You're looking for anything that looks like, man, if somebody lived there and really cared about this house, it would not be that way. So that's what you're looking for when you're out driving for dollars. Honestly, you can go knock on the door. If you want to get out of the car, go knock, that's fantastic. It's your choice what you want to do with those leads. But if you take those leads back to your office, you can skip trace them, you can start cold calling them, you can mail, you can voicemail drop them, whatever it is you want to do. As you get started, you want to try to find the cheapest marketing channel available. Direct mail can definitely get expensive, but it's got a fantastic return. Pay-per-click, that could be a deep hole you go down where you end up spending a ton of money. So if you're looking at ways to get in touch with people and find those motivated sellers, I'd recommend cold calling. I'd recommend door knocking. I'd recommend drive for dollars. RVM is something that you can choose whether you want to do or not. There's a lot of legalities around that. So I'm going to let you make your choice and not give you my opinion. But those are some very cheap marketing channels. Your goal is to get the phone to ring. When you get your first calls in, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be very blunt, you're gonna suck. You don't know what you're doing. So you need to start talking to people, get rejected by people, so you start realizing what it is you're doing wrong. Now, I highly recommend you record every single phone call just for your training purposes. So talk to sellers, go back and listen to that call in the evening. And you take that and you say, man, this is where I went wrong. As you start listening to your calls, you're gonna start finding out where you're messing up. And it's probably one objection a seller's throwing out you're messing up on. Then you go, you watch YouTube videos on it, try to get yourself past that objection, and then you find another objection. Then you find your way past it and another objection. You need to get as many people calling in as possible so you can get better at what it is you're doing. Now, if you're doing outbound calling, you're gonna get hung up on. You will get hung up on many times a day. You will get yelled at. You will get a lot of different things. People are gonna say some vulgar stuff. So make sure you have some thick skin. Now, cold calling is all a numbers game. You're gonna realize as you call people, you might dial 100 numbers with no leads. Then you start saying, wow, what am I doing in my approach? You start changing your approach. You start focusing on building rapport with people a little more. Then pretty soon you realize you get one lead for 50 calls. Oh, then you get one lead for 25 calls. You start getting better. It's not that people don't want to sell. It's the fact that you aren't somebody they want to sell to. That's the brutal truth. Have you ever gone and worked with a salesman that you did not like? Most likely not, unless you were forced to. Think of it this way. You go to a car lot. You want to buy a car. There's a car lot across the street as well. They both have the identical car. You walk up, and the salesman looks at you like, this guy can't afford the car. And immediately, he just walks up, what can I do for you? And doesn't care to show you the car, doesn't care to build rapport with you, doesn't ask you how your day is, and you almost feel awkward. Like, man, I really don't want to work with this guy, but I really need this car.
Oh, don't be like that. If I had a rock, I'll bust your head, bitch. Well, over here.
Well, you leave that guy. You go across the street. Immediately you walk onto the car lot. Someone comes up, hey, how are you today? How's your day going good? What have you been doing? You been looking for cars today? Great, what are you looking for? What can I show you? And this person genuinely cares about you. Oh, can I take you on a test drive? And just immediately you can see this person wants your business. They're building rapport. Would you go with the guy that's building rapport with you, or would you go with the person that just is looking at you like you're broke and you can't afford it?
No. You said cars pick their drivers.
Well, sometimes they pick a driver with a cheap ass phone off the car.
Most likely you're gonna go with the guy you actually want to do business with, even if it costs a little bit more.
How much for the Trans Am?
200 grab, no payments till January.
I'll take it.
Out of the deals that we lock up right now, the majority of those deals, we are not the highest offer. But we are that sales rep at that car dealership that builds rapport with the sellers. We make people want to do business with us, even if our offer is $20,000 less. So we're gonna get in those motivated seller leads through all of our marketing channels, through pay-per-click, through direct mail, through cold calling, through texting. There's so many different avenues we do. My goal is to have my phone ring and utilize every single lead that comes through that door. You need to think very creatively when people call in. Is this gonna be a wholesale deal? Am I gonna make an assignment fee off it? Is this gonna be a creative deal where I do a subject to or a seller financing? Is this gonna be something I need to refer out to a realtor and potentially get a kickback for referring that lead out? There's so many different channels you can do, but it all starts with getting those seller leads in and making sure when those seller leads come in the door, you're utilizing them to the best of your ability. So people always say the most important thing is getting the right people to call in. Well, I agree with that in a way. But how do they define the right people, right? I look at it and say, hey, if someone potentially even has an idea of selling their house, or if someone's in a situation where they potentially need to sell, I want them to call me. But you can't get just exactly those people, because you can pull lists, foreclosures, divorce, anything like that you want to pull. But what about the other people that aren't showing up on a list? What about the elderly people out there that just can't keep up with the repairs on their houses? No one died, so they're not showing up on a list like that. Their house is just over the years started to deteriorate and it's got out of hand. Now you can pull an elderly list, but just because they're elderly doesn't mean it's a distress, right? So some of these people are gonna show up just on standard blanket lists. We started mailing out just to neighborhoods. So my goal is to get multiple appointments within that neighborhood. Now, a lot of these people are gonna call us and just say, get me off your list. That's fantastic. But when they call us in, we're gonna say, hey, so you don't have any intention of selling your house within the next 6 months or a year? Nope, not at all. Get me off your list, don't wanna hear from you. Great, get them off your list, take them off there, save yourself money from marketing that people. And you're gonna find that the people that want off the list, the angry people, are gonna be the first people that call in off your marketing. Those are the people that have been sitting around all day, literally just waiting for the opportunity to call and yell at you. This day and age, we call those Karens, right? So she's gonna call into you, she's gonna yell at you, you literally ruined her day.
Scott, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I take a plethora of pills come noon, damn near every day, just so I can zonk out for a second amidst all the shit I got going on. And I'm already 15 minutes late to the country club brunchin'.
She didn't call Domino's for the coupons that were in there. She didn't call the grocery store for sending the ad, but she's calling you because you ruined her day. Now, these are the first people to call in. Get them out of the way. Get them off your list. The faster you get those people off the phone, you open your phone lines up for the people that are holding your postcard going, should I call or should I not call? Make the call. Then when they call in, those are your motivated sellers. Those are the people, your second round of calls in the door. And as those people call, those are the ones you want to really develop rapport with. You really want to focus on how you can get this person into a deal. Now, if you're not doing a virtual market and you're in person, get in front of these people as much as possible because you need to get experience as you get started. So get in front of as many people as possible. You will get kicked out of houses when you give an offer. You will have people that slam the door in your face. That'll happen. But you need to decide if you're gonna let that get you down or you're gonna use that as motivation to get to the next level.
We gotta keep our composure. We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We gotta just keep our composure.
Motivated sellers is the lifeblood of this business. There's so many ways to get those people. Multiple lists you can pull, list source, PropStream. I highly recommend PropStream. There's so many different places you can go to pull lists. Or you can create your own list by driving for dollars, door knocking. If you don't have the money to spend on a list, drive for dollars. If you tell me you don't have a car and you can't drive for dollars, ride a bike. If you don't have a bike, get out there and walk.
If you don't have one, buy one. Can't afford one, then borrow one from your old man. If you don't have an old man, then find a drunk, trade him for his.
There's no excuse for not being able to get around some of these neighborhoods and find houses. Now, if you decide to door knock, don't walk up and say, "Hey, I'm Scott, your house looks like shit, so I figured I'd go ahead and knock on the door and see if you want to sell this hunk of junk." No. You're walking up, you're knocking on the door, and when you knock on someone's door, immediately knock, step back, face the door, give them room. Don't make them feel like they're crowded. When they answer, say, "Hey, how are you today?" And they're gonna be like, good. How are you? "Oh, I'm great. Oh, hey, I'm Scott. I was actually just curious. Did you have any interest in potentially getting an offer on your house?" Or you could spend a little more time building rapport. "Hey, how long have you lived in the neighborhood?" Some people will talk to you for an hour before you realize, "Oh yeah, I'm here to buy your house." So build rapport with people every way possible. Most people say, well, I didn't get any deals off this one. I need to pull twice as many sellers next time. You have to look and say, what are you doing to utilize every single lead? Seller leads, I love seller leads. Then as you start getting more and more seller leads in, you get more and more deals, then you start working the same thing on the buyer side. And you start building your seller's list, your buyer's list. You have your high priorities on this side. You have your investors you want to work with on this side. And your goal is to marry up that seller contract with that buyer contract and get your assignment fee in the middle. That's what you're trying to do. So motivated sellers, take care of every single one of them. Do not let them slip through the cracks. And the most important tip I'm gonna leave you with is if you tell a seller you will call them and follow up with them at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, you call them at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Do not call them on Wednesday. Keep your promises. That is the most important thing. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. We'll talk to you guys next time.